October 11, 2025. Hollywood froze. The city of endless noise fell silent when the news broke. Diane Keaton, the woman who turned awkwardness into art, was gone at 79. But what shook the world wasn't the headline. It was what happened days later. At her funeral, Goldie Hawn stepped to the podium, trembling, and whispered something that left even Hollywood speechless. No one expected it. This is the story of a woman who taught the world that vulnerability is power. Born in Los Angeles in 1946, Diane grew up between glamour and quiet ache. Her mother, Dorothy Hall, Miss Los Angeles 1955, once lived for applause until marriage dimmed her light. Watching that loss, young Diane made herself a promise: never let life steal your dreams. At 20, she left home for New York with nothing but belief. The city was cold, the rooms were smaller than her courage, and rejection came daily. Nights were spent singing in basements for rent money and whispering, "I won't stop yet." Then fate called. The Broadway musical Hair wanted someone raw, real, unpolished. Diane arrived barefoot, eyes tired but alive. When she finished her audition, the director simply said, "You don't have to change anything." That line changed everything. From that night, Diane Keaton was born. A name borrowed from her mother's maiden one, a promise carried forward. Hollywood soon noticed. The Godfather made her unforgettable. Annie Hall made her iconic. Her hesitant laugh, her mismatched clothes, her gentle chaos. They all became the decade's heartbeat. She won an Oscar and the world's attention. Yet when the crowds disappeared, she sat alone in her kitchen whispering, "Is this happiness?" Success sparkled like glass. Beautiful, but it cut deep. By the 1980s, the glow dimmed. The Little Drummer Girl flopped, and critics moved on to younger stars. Diane withdrew from Hollywood's noise, unsure who she was without applause. But silence didn't destroy her. It remade her. She began to write, to direct, to search again for meaning. And destiny answered with laughter. On the set of The First Wives Club, she met Goldie Hawn, a burst of sunlight wrapped in laughter. At first, Diane kept her distance until one cold evening when Goldie noticed her shivering, draped her coat over her shoulders, and whispered, "You don't have to be strong all the time." That simple kindness became the start of a rare, unbreakable bond. They toasted each other's wins, shared quiet dinners, and healed through friendship. Diane once said, "To the woman who reminded me that laughter is how we pray." In her 50s, she found a new purpose: motherhood. She adopted her daughter Dexter, and later her son Duke, filling her once silent home with laughter. "No one has a perfect home," she said. "We just need to choose each other and stay." The woman who had chased applause finally found peace in bedtime stories and morning hugs. And then came the final curtain. At her memorial, Goldie stood before a room full of legends, a single white rose trembling in her hand. Her voice cracked as she said, "Diane didn't just make us laugh, she gave us permission to be ourselves." The room fell still. Then she leaned toward the portrait and whispered, "You taught me that laughter is how we pray. So I'll keep laughing. For you." Outside, the sun dipped behind the hills, and for a moment, Goldie swore she could hear it, that unmistakable Diane Keaton laugh, soft, mischievous, echoing down Hollywood Boulevard. Diane Keaton's legacy isn't carved in Oscars or fame, but in freedom. The freedom to be imperfect, to age without apology, to live honestly. She once said, "Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's sacred strength." Maybe that's why, even after the lights fade, her voice still lingers. A gentle reminder that the truest stars never burn out. They simply shine differently.